Fine, then just transfer the money. What? You should transfer the money to her account. You know she's having a hard time. You gave her most of your salary, didn't you? I don't think it's necessary. You are such a cold person. My name is Kelly, 32 years old. I work at a tax accountant's office in Tokyo. My husband, Louis, is 2 years younger than me, and we met at the bar where he works. We met each other at our workplace, and then we became friends, and after a year of dating, we got married. My husband grew up from a very different place from mine. He grew up in an institution. He doesn't have a father since little. He lived with his mother and grandmother in his grandmother's house. Then his mother just disappeared, and a year later, his grandmother passed away, leaving him alone in the world. He has been living in an institution since he was 10 years old. He doesn't like talking too much about his child. I don't want to give him too much pressure, so I never asked. So when we got married, my parents asked me if I was okay that our background were so different. I told them that I liked him, and there was no problem, which is the truth. However, I was not 100% about that. My husband is a quiet but very caring and gentle person. I think we could support each other in our lifetime. Sadly, after 2 years of marriage, everything is starting to be out of track. It all started when my mother-in-law appeared in front of us. She just showed up from nowhere, but it was an emotional reunion. My mother-in-law and my husband were sobbing dramatically. However, when I saw the two of them crying together in front of the entrance of our apartment, my heart was not touched at all. Instead, I thought she was a rather selfish mother. I'm so sorry, it has been a long time. I was dealing with some financial problems and I didn't want to drag you into it. I know. I've been looking for you for a long time. I didn't know how to tell you, especially since I lost my house. But I'm glad to finally meet you. Yeah, me too. I think my husband was genuinely happy to see his mother again. But after all, she dumped him at the most important timing. To me, she's just an irresponsible mother. If she was chasing by the debt collector, then how couldn't she worry about that when she left her house? They were turned on her child and mother. If something horrible like this did happen, Louis would not have forgotten. It doesn't make any sense to me. What comes off of my mind is the scenario that my mother-in-law chased some guy and abandoned the child. She dyed her hair blonde and wears a miniskirt not for her age, deep neck top. Her voice sounds like she drinks tons of alcohol every day. No, I should never judge a person by the appearance, I told myself. Louis is so happy to see her. I should be happy for them. If they are happy to see each other again, that's all. Again, I told myself strongly. It was nice to see you today, and I hope we get to see each other again. I'm sure we will. Thank you, but I don't know if I can come here again. Why not? I don't have a place to live right now. Oh, I see. Louis looked at me. Oh no, I just told myself not to do this, but isn't it improper to do this? You can't just come out of the blue and tell your son you don't have a place to live. If you really care about your children, you wouldn't do something that would be the burden on their lives. I don't think common sense would apply to a mother who suddenly disappeared from home. The look in Louis' eyes is a let her stay at home please look. Christ, I don't like it. but there is no proof that she did this on purpose. Maybe I'm thinking it too much. I should help here. I made eye contact with Louis as agreement. Mom, come live with us. Really? Thank you. My, that's a very quick thank you. Do you know how to pretend? That's getting more and more suspicious. Thank you so much. From today, we're going to live together. It seems she came and lived with us without feeling a little bit sorry. Since she came, Louis looks painful, but tried taking care of his mother very patiently. Well, never thought she would be any harmful. I looked her with a warm heart. I thought Louis must want to do something that he couldn't do in his childhood. However, within 2 weeks of his Mother's Day, the real her showed up. It happened to be when Louis went shopping at a store and I was on a late shift. This was the first time we were alone. So, you are a tax account. What is the mother? She was in completely different tone of voice. Yes, I am. You must have a lot of money saved up. Oh, I hate this conversation. You talk very differently when Louis isn't here. He loves me, you knew that. He won't believe a word you say about me. By the way, you're earning money, right? Lend me some money. I don't want to. Come on, you should. Someone who earns money like you lends money to people in need like me. It's economy. I've never heard such a theory. Oh, this is why kids today are no good. You don't know anything about the world. Hurry up and give me the money. I'm not going to do that. After that, whenever we were alone together, it was all this kind of conversation. As Louis' mothers had planned, I could not tell Louis about this. I just couldn't say anything to Louis, who was like mother this, mother that in front of me. Moreover, it was obvious that we would end up fighting if I told him. The first part is important, so I tried to be patient, but my patience was limited to 1 month. Just as I was about to ask her to leave, to my surprise, she told me she was leaving the house. This is a blessing I could not have wished for. Mom, are you really leaving? Yeah, I can't keep bothering you and Kelly forever. We're not that kind of people, and you can stay with us forever. Us? Stop with the pearls. I'm happy for it. Thanks. I found a new apartment. They said I don't even need a guarantor there. I won't have to bother you guys. That's right. Come, I'll show you now. It's only a 5 minutes walk from here, so let's go for a walk. Louis anxiously followed his mother. From then on, I started to lose my trust on Louis. Ever since his mother showed up, I have been neglected. My love matter for Louis, who puts his mother's wishes before everything else, was beginning to decrease. We followed her to the apartment and were surprised to see it. It was an incredibly shabby apartment. I believe it was a famous haunted house in this area. Louis saw this and looked at his mother with tears in his eyes. Mom, let's go back to our home. It's okay. I'll live here. Just come visit me if you can. And his mother left our house the next day. But this was a trick of his mother. Louis fell into the trap made by his mother. Hey, Kelly, can you help my mother somewhat? Why should I? You sold that apartment. Don't you feel sorry for her? Yes, That was his mother's trap. She is trying to get money from us. I will never give it to her. Louis is completely not aware of this shabby trick. I won't give any money to your mother. Why not? Because she has rented an apartment, which means she has money. She is working somewhere. She does go out. She doesn't work. She's volunteering at the nursing house during the day. Volunteering. What a lie. I'm not going to believe that woman is a volunteer. I can't even think about that. What's your point? No, nothing. Anyway, I don't pay for it. Louis looked at me coldly. Kelly, you're fine as long as it's good enough for you, aren't you? What do you mean by that? Kelly, you make a lot of money than I do, and you think that I should listen to you. What are you talking about? When did I say that? It's in your attitude. Mom's attitude. She said Kelly is a little scary. I bet she left because of you. I'm gonna cry. What did he see in me so far? You know nothing, and now you start to blame all the things on me? You don't even know your mother. You don't know what I've been going through ever since your mother showed up. Have you ever really think about it? Don't you dare blame me like that. After the big fight that day, our relationship collapsed. We didn't speak to each other for days, but a few days later, I received a phone call from Louis. I picked up the phone to see what was going on. You are at work, right? Yeah. I'm really sorry, but I need you to go visit my mother. Why? Mom hurt her leg. She's having a hard time now. She'd be happy if you were there for her. And I can't leave the store today because I have a vendor coming in. So it means a lot if you can be there, Kelly. Alright, I'll show up after work. Thanks. Long sighed after I hang up the phone. Even though things are getting rough with us, Louis called me when it was something about his mother. I feel more and more empty. I take the divorce papers out of the drawer and stare at them. I guess I'll just have to put an end to it. And after work, I headed for the haunted house. You are late. My mother-in-law's leg was bandaged. How are you feeling now? Not well. That's why you're here. Hurry up and make me some tea. She only gave the order and sat down on the sofa, limping. I reluctantly prepared a cup of tea from the cupboard. Why is there a passbook here? The passbook was at the far end of the cupboard. I glanced at my mother-in-law. She is enjoying watching TV. I quietly picked up the passbook and checked its contents. Oh no, I couldn't help but come up with a sound. Shut up! Can't hear the TV. How long did it take for making a cup of matcha? Safe. She didn't notice. She keeps complaining while watching the TV. Looking closely, I see that she has a nice collection of teacups and dishes. I realized everything. Please, have your tea, and then I'm going home. What are you talking about? Where's dinner? Why don't you call it for yourself? Then you're paying for it. I don't think I should. You have so much money, Mother. My mother-in-law, who saw the passbook in my hand, stood up quickly. You, it's mine. Don't you dare not give it back to me. There was no way that she, who was only about 5'5", could reach the hand that I, who was 5'10", has raised. As I headed straight for the front door, she came at me with great force. Oh, I thought you broke your leg. You were limping just now. Just give it back to me. I left her house. When I returned home, Louis greeted me. Thank you for doing this for me. My mom must have been in a lot of pain. No, she was perfectly fine. No, she could not be. She must be feeling down. So you gave her the money? From the looks of it, he hadn't heard from his mother. What money? You didn't give me any money. No, don't you feel sad when seeing my mother's pain? She's in desperate need of money, so I thought you would give her some. So, you think I should be the one to give her the money? Louis sighed loudly. Fine. Then just transfer the money. What? You should transfer the money to her account. You know she's having a hard time. You gave her most of your salary, didn't you? I don't think that's necessary. You are such a cold person. I thought you'd understand when you saw mothers in pain. I've wasted so much time thinking about it. What is it that you've been thinking about? Is that your mother's been trying to pretend to be weak? Because you are not nice at all. This is the only way. I don't know what else to say. I threw the passbook at my husband. Look at this. Do you still think she's poor? Come on, wake up. What do you mean? Why does she have $70 million? I don't know. That woman has money, and yet she's still trying to squeeze money from us. I mean, come on, man, face the truth. At the first place, she left you alone until this age, and then all of a sudden just showed up, asking if she could live together, and then keeps asking for money not only from you, but from me too. She's been asking me for money when you're not here. What makes you think that this is the person you should be protecting? That woman is nothing more than a hustler. If you still want to protect your mother, I won't say anything. But I want a divorce. I'm sick of it. You don't believe me even now. On the contrary, you try to set me up. You and your mother are just alike, living in a shitty house, trying to take some money from me. You are just like your mother. I probably forgot something I wanted to say, but that's okay. I'm sure I don't understand how my husband believed in his mother that much. He has been waiting for her for a long time. I couldn't tell him that he's unloved and exploited. After that, my husband and I divorced. I didn't get alimony. This is the last mercy. I could not take the money from him after his beloved mother cheated him out of money, and of course no share of the common property. We agreed that our savings should remain to our own separately. A month later, Louis was waiting for me in front of my office. I told him just say what he wants by standing there. He told me something unbelievable. My mother-in-law got arrested for theft and fraud. She had been cheating elderly people at a nursing house where she volunteered by asking them for the PIN numbers and passbooks. The elderly people's families faltered and reported her to the police. She's in jail now. And then I heard that she got arrested again after other crimes came one to another. Fortunately, the money she tried to get from Louis was safe. The money was returned to the victims. Louis told me this, apologized, and disappeared from my presence. It was so sad to see his back. Thus ended my short marriage, but I'm glad it ended. The dark side of Louis was too much for me. I hope to find someone I can truly be with someday. I think I'm done with marriage. I'm more comfortable chasing numbers. I'm going to work harder and harder, and I might open my own office someday. This is my new goal for the time being. The mother-in-law is so obsessed with money, and the way Louis dealt with it was sad. Parents are a big part of child's character development, aren't they? Louis is truly a victim of his mother. Hope Kelly and Louis would have a bright future. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.
I'm sorry, it's just as you see. I didn't mean for this to happen. Is this true? I asked my sister. Then what? This isn't the right time for that. Lily, you have to put really first. When I noticed, I was raising my hand to both of them. I've never been so heartless. I never wanted to experience anything like this in my life. But because of my stupid husband and sister, I was left with a memory I will never forget. They will never be allowed to see the light of day. I had promised to pick up my niece, Lily, from preschool that day. My sister had forced me to do it again. Please pick up Lily tomorrow too. Hey, why are you always so urgent? You're stay-at-home wife. You have plenty of time. That's not the point. I can hear my niece coughing on the other end of the line. Is Lily sick? No, she's fine. She was coughing just now. She's fine. Anyway, do me a favor. Just keep her for a while. For how long? A week? What? I'm going abroad. What do you think you're doing? I can't. Oh, well, then I'm leaving Lily at the preschool. Well, if no one's coming to pick her up, she'll stay there. You're a real pain in the ass, you know that. I reluctantly agreed, thinking of my niece. Then I get a call from the preschool much earlier than I was supposed to pick her up. They said they had called me, who was their emergency contact, because they couldn't reach my sister no matter how many times they tried. The doctor told me that my niece, who had a slight fever that day, had lost consciousness and was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. Got the call and rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. I had been married for 6 years and I had no children. Started family planning and fertility control as soon as we got married, but we have had no luck. My sister had a baby 2 years ago, but she and her husband divorced soon after. Since then, she has been pushing me to take care of her child every chance she gets. She says it will be good practice for when I have a child in the future. I have mixed feelings about this, but my niece is cute. And I told my husband that I would take care of my niece again. I'm going to take care of my niece again tomorrow. Can I ask for your help? Tomorrow? Actually, I have to deal with an urgent problem at work. I have to fly there early tomorrow morning. It'll be a business trip. You okay with that? Well, I've known the client for a long time. It won't affect the contract. But I'm in charge of sales, so I'll have to fly out there myself. Okay, well, be careful. Are you gonna be okay on your own? If it's too hard, I'll go to my parents. I'll be fine. Thanks, have a safe trip. At that time, I thought I just had no luck. Because my niece is very attached to my husband. When I had taken care of her before, she was crying at night and I was having a hard time with it. My husband took her in his arms and calmed her down. So I was confident that my husband would be there if anything happened to her this time. But it's only natural to put work first. I was prepared for exhaustion. And the next day, I got a call from the preschool. I rushed to the hospital and found my niece's body was full of tubes. She was unconscious. The teachers at the preschool were also very upset. The director of the preschool was very critical to me. You're Lily's mother's sister, right? Yes, I am. I've been trying to reach your sister, but I can't reach her. We've called her work too. They said she's on vacation. Where is your sister now? She's overseas. The director's eyes widened. So that's what happened. Director spoke quickly about today's conversation with my sister. My niece's face was flushed when she attended the preschool. When they checked the daily temperature check note, which needed to be done at home, they were blank. The preschool refused to accept the child with a blank sheet of paper. And then they took her temperature this morning. It was 37.8 degrees Celsius. The preschool cannot accept child with a fever over 37.5 degrees Celsius. Director told my sister to take the child home. My sister said that the child's temperature was usually high, so there's no problem. She overrode the teacher's attempt to stop her and left the preschool. After that, they tried to contact her several times, but when they couldn't reach her, they called our parents. Parents are working. They're not home during the day. In addition, the only emergency contact information listed was her parents. Teachers were stumped. They found an old emergency contact number that was submitted a year ago, and they had called me. This should never have happened. The director's voice was quiet and trembling because she's in the hospital. There were even a few tears in her eyes. We were looking at my niece. I am so sorry. I'll contact my sister. I apologized to the director and the chaperone and sent them back to the school. Tried to contact my sister right away, but she was disconnected. Called her dozens of times, hundreds of times, but she never picked up the phone. Meanwhile, my parents, whom I called, rushed to the hospital. It's okay, Lily's gonna be okay. That's what my mother keeps telling herself. Don't worry, we're in a hospital. But the treatment didn't help, and her symptom only got worse. All the while, I kept calling my sister, but I couldn't get through. 2 days later, the little life was lost without recovery. A child of only 2 years old who died without the warmth of mother's touch. How could such a heartless thing be? I could not stop my tears as I touched her cold little body. Why didn't I ask my sister where she was traveling? Why didn't I stop her from going? I couldn't help but blame myself. It's not your fault. My mother speaks softly to me as I break down in tears. But even she has tears streaming down her face. I tried repeatedly to contact my husband to let him know what had happened, but I couldn't reach him either. Time flies even when you're in the depths of despair. In the end, I held a funeral for my niece without any contact with my sister. This was the day she told me she was coming back from her trip. I was ready to pick up the call as soon as I heard from her. I unceremoniously brought my phone to the funeral, and while the monks were chanting sutra, my phone trembled. Oh, hello. Thank you for taking care of Lily. I just arrived at the airport. I'm on my way home now. What would you like for souvenir? You? What? What? I can't hear you. You, what are you doing? The chanting stopped at the sound of my voice. Huh? What are you mad about? You? You took a child's life. Huh? Lily, she died. Do you have any idea how lonely she was? Oh no, it's not funny. Right? It's not funny. None of us are laughing. I couldn't control my emotions. I exhaled several times to calm myself down. I'm in the middle of Lily's funeral, so get back here as soon as you can. I hung up the phone. I'm sorry. I apologize for stopping the chanting, but the monk gently placed his hand on my head. After the funeral, as I was getting ready to leave for the crematorium, my sister arrived out of breath. And behind her, for some reason, my husband was there. No way, right? My sister broke down crying at the sight of my niece. Why? My husband stood dumbfounded behind my sister. The relatives looked at her coldly, but no one blamed her. I think it was out of consideration for Lily. I didn't speak to her or to my husband until after the cremation. I think Lily was waiting for her mother. After the cremation, we went back to my parents' house. And my sister got a lot of blame from my parents. I listened in silence until my eyes fell on their carry-on case. Why were they at the same location? What I saw was a sticker that the airline puts on the handle of the suitcases. They're both coming back from the same airport. My sister spun her mouth and didn't say anything. Then my husband opened his mouth. I'm sorry, it's just as you see. I didn't mean it to be like this. Is this true? I asked my sister. Then what? This isn't the right time for that. Lily, you have to put Willie first. When I realized I was raising my hand to both of them, I didn't let my anger erupt because of their infidelity. It was because I couldn't tolerate their behavior when it comes to my niece. Stop your tears. You have no right to shed tears. You got more than hundreds of calls from me. Why is it so hard to think that something could have happened to your own child at that point? While you two are enjoying your stupid adulterous trouble, Lily suffered and died. You'll be never forgiven for your sin. You should all just die a slow, agonizing death. I'm sorry. You think this is your penance to Lily? You think you're being honest right now, but you're just as guilty. You ignored my call too. You left my niece to die, and you're responsible for it too. Go to hell. My parents didn't stop me. Don't you dare to show your face again. You're not my daughter anymore. I cannot forgive you. Get out of here. Why? Why am I the only one to be blamed? I don't consider you my family anyway. My sister left without my niece's remains. We'll discuss our divorce at a later date. He nodded in silence. He must have been racked with guilt. He gave me everything of our shared asset, and the alimony was paid in full. We divorced after that. You think this is atonement for your sins? You are full. You never get rid of your sins. And my sister and my husband will serve prison time. The director accused them of child abuse. My sister argued her case with a court-appointed attorney, but no one was on her side. My parents and I were put in court, but we told only the truth. As a result, my sister received a 5-year sentence. My husband's case was quickly settled. He knew that my niece had been left in preschool with a slight fever, and he got 2 years in prison. 5 years and 2 years? How can a person's life be compensated with only 7 years? I feel so empty. These two will never be allowed to see the light of day. 6 years has passed since then. I remarried and gave birth to my child. I will never forget my niece, but it's my child who has healed my wounds. I want to be a mother who is always there for my child. They say sin never goes away, so they will carry it with them for the rest of their lives. They deserve it? No, it's still not enough. Human life is precious.
You have no job and graduated from middle school penniless. I'm done with you. I'm not going to let an old woman parasite in me. Never. Just pack up your stuff and get out of here. I've been marrying you for a long time, so be grateful. In other words, you want a divorce? Then he laughed in a high-pitched voice. Don't ask me back. You know what I mean. Should I make it clear? You're just not smart enough to get it on you. Are you going to divorce me and remarry my sister? They looked at each other in surprise. My name is Jane. I live with my husband Tim. I'm in my late 50s. He's 5 years younger than me. I have a younger sister, and she and my husband went to college together. My sister is the reason I met my husband. We have 2 children. Both are now independent and have families of their own. At my age, I often think of the past. A lot has happened to me in my life up to this age. I'm happy to have had 2 children, but with my husband, I'm not happy at all. He makes fun of my education experience, and he's got no job. You don't even know that? That's why you only have a middle school degree? This is what my husband always said to me when we have an argument. My husband is right. I did only graduate from junior high school. I was hoping to go to high school. After all, I didn't hate learning. But we were so poor at that time. In those days, the internet was not yet widespread, and the world was very small. So I did as my parents told me and graduated from junior high school and got a job. But my sister, who is 5 years younger than me, graduated from college. That's because I worked hard to get her through college. It's not easy earn a living with what I had, so I didn't want her to suffer the same. I decided to work harder. Fortunately, my sister was an excellent student. She got into an elite university, and of course, my husband was a classmate of hers. So, he's from there too. And he's so proud of it. When we argued, he'd used his education as an excuse. When we first met, he never showed any sign of it. So when we got married and had our first daughter, I was at the height of my happiness. But gradually, my happiness began to disappear. At the time, it was common for people to quit their jobs when getting married. I was going to quit my job and focus on my child, but my husband never allowed it. He wanted me to work full-time while taking care of the house and raising our child. He quit his job when our first son was born. I was expecting him to allow me to be a housewife then, so that I could focus on the house chores, but he did nothing. Housework and childcare were still my job. If he doesn't help me with anything, I thought at least he could bring money to the family. I'm not sure I can raise 2 kids on my own. I was worried about money. 6 months after he quit his job, I suggested him, "Hey, it's time for you to get a job." "Who do you think you're talking to?" "You're the only one in front of me. It's been 6 months. Are you going to stay unemployed?" "You think you can tell me what to do?" "Oh, not again. Unlike you, who graduated from junior high school, I'm someone greater." "I'm happy for you. Then I guess you'll get your final goal soon." "If I want a job, I get a job. And you don't get to choose your job. I'm able to choose." "Oh yeah? Well then, pick one though." "I can't. There's no job I want to do." He may have graduated from an elite university. He may be good at study, but he has zero ability to earn a living. If he doesn't do anything, his degree from a fancy university is just a decoration. Then, at least do something for the family. What kind of idiot are you? It's ridiculous for me to do it, isn't it? It's you who gave birth to the children. You should be grateful. The reason I've been with this man for years without getting divorced is because of the circumstances we had. In our generation, people would stab you in the back if you got divorced. And the mother is not the only one who gets attacked. The children will be the target of unwanted rumors. I really don't want that happens. But they're both grown up now. I think it's okay to cut it off with him. I'm almost ready to retire, and I'm thinking that a divorce at this age would be a good idea. Just thinking about it makes my future looks brighter. And I've been studying for my high school equivalency exam for a while. Now that kids are grown-ups, I have more free time to study. As a result, I passed the exam. Of course, I haven't told my husband about it. I know he would make fun of me if I told him. The other day, I received a letter of acceptance. I received a phone call from my sister. Hey, how's going? I'm coming now. You're home, right? What's going on? Well, I'm home. Okay, I'm at the station. Unlock the door in 10 minutes. Oh, hey! She hung up on me. 10 minutes later, my sister really came. What's wrong? How is your husband? We got divorced. What? When? Oh, when was it? It was, 6 months ago? I didn't know that. I didn't tell you so. By the way, do you have an extra room in the house? No, we don't. Yes, you do. The kids are all grown up. Yes, but we still have room for them in case they want to come over. I've left their rooms as they are. Then the guest room is empty. Well, it is. I'll just stay there then. Okay. I'll start living here from today. Wait a minute. Isn't it too urgent? No, it's not. I've got Tim's permission. That's right. I told her to come over if she's in trouble. My husband just came home from the convenience store. Why do you decide that without me? It's strange. Your sister's in trouble. You're supposed to help her, aren't you? That's why middle school graduates are idiots. You're right, and she doesn't help people. Judy got together with Tim and against me. I know, she's always been like this. Even thought I can't stand it anymore. I did my best for her. She's still my family. But I can't help but feel a bit bitter about it. After that, my opinion was just air. I started living with Judy. And I'm the only one who works in this family. Judy and Tim did nothing every day. If you're going to stay at someone's place, at least help out. Why? Tim isn't paying or doing anything. Oh, Jen, you must have had a hard time after graduating from middle school. You're really obsessed with money. I was shocked, and after a while, Judy and Tim started going out together. What bothered me the most was their behavior to each other. I don't think they are not aware of this, but it's as if they are lovers. I see. I'll have to figure it out. The truth of this too. It won't be surprising if it was a relationship from now on, because they don't have common sense. I hired an agency to investigate them, and a week later, the results were just as I expected. They were having an affair. When I told my children this, they agreed with me to get a divorce. Now I have no more regrets. I decided to wait for the perfect time to get divorced. While they were gone, I studied for my law degree. It all started when I was working as a janitor at a lawyer's office. While I was working there, an employee of the law firm told me that he had passed the bar exam at the age of 69. I was deeply impressed. I thought it was amazing that someone in his 70s could have a goal and challenge something. After hearing that story, I decided that I wanted to take the challenge too. And then the day came for me to retire. I come home and Tim and Judy had a strange smile on their faces. I want to talk to you. What is it? You retired from today, right? That means you're unemployed. How are you going to make a living? You have no job and graduated from middle school penniless. I'm done with you. I'm not going to let an old woman parasite me. Never. Just pack up your stuff and get out of here. I've been married to you for a long time, so be grateful. In other words, you want a divorce? Then he laughed in a high-pitched voice. Don't ask me, Bat. You know what I mean. Should I make it clear? You're just not smart enough to get it, aren't you? Are you going to divorce me and remarry Judy? They looked at each other in surprise and started laughing again. You knew it. Then let's make it quick. I don't need you anymore. If you really don't want to leave, I can consider it if you get down on your knees. That won't be necessary. I wanted to divorce this man when I retired, so this is convenient for me. Then sign this. I took the divorce papers out of my bag. The two of them froze, with their mouths hanging open. Please, do it quickly. I'm leaving. How come it's you to prepare the divorce papers? Because I was thinking of getting a divorce. I thought if I was going to get a divorce too, this would be the right time. I changed my clothes for the last time. Tim, hurry up, let's go. Isn't it nice that Jen is going anyway? Tim signed the divorce paper at her urging. Okay, that's all. I checked his entry without hesitation. I guess he didn't like my attitude. He's still swearing. Well, you're a middle school graduate. You're going to die soon, you know that? Oh, I don't know about that. Please, both of you. My voice was cue for the kids to come into the living room. Here, hold this so he doesn't tear it up. Okay, I got it. You guys are really gross. You're the worst father ever. Graduating from a fancy university is such a big honor for you, but it doesn't do anything for your life. You're happy with your decoration and you've been unemployed your whole life. That's really stupid, don't you think? What? The truth is my daughter beat him to the punch. You're really a dumb, unemployed old jerk. Okay, kids, that's too true. You guys are so honest. I've got proof of your affair. Wait to pay us the alimony. Well then, I left the house with my children. After that, they had no money. They should have paid me $1 million. That's the price they paid for not having a job. I guess they borrowed money from a dangerous lender who lent money to people with no job and no grasp of orders. And then I filed for divorce and became a free person. Now I can finally concentrate on my studies. I worked part-time as a cleaner and studied hard. As a result, I was accepted into the law school of my choice. After 4 years of study, I completed the graduate school, and I managed to pass the bar exam. Then became the lawyer I always wanted to be. My children, accompanied by their families, they threw me a little party. My life was so wonderful. But you know what they say about those two were looking for me? How do I know that? My ex-husband came to my new house. Please, help me. I heard him crying outside. Your sister Judy, she doesn't work at all. We have no money. I went to the kids. They won't see me. Of course not, you idiot. What do you mean? I say you're an asshole. You say you will be something great. All you had was a college name. You've got nothing to live for. Don't be stupid. You're just trying to get on your good side. You're just a middle school graduate. You're not even close to me. Actually, I just passed the bar. Well, anyway, I'll fall to the same level as him if I flop my education here. Now, you're asking for money from who you've always made fun of. It's hilarious. I mean, why do you live in such a nice place? I do, because of my job. You work? Yeah, I do. I used to be a janitor at a law firm. What do you mean? You're a private cleaner? Yeah, I am. I clean my own desk. Your desk? What are you talking about? I left the door chained on and opened the door. Here you go. I showed my ex-husband my lawyer badge. He just froze. You know, if you don't give up, you can make your life as long as you want. If you continue to follow me around like this, we will fight you in the court. I said that much and closed the door loudly. After that, my ex-husband never came at me again. Judy did once, but I told her the same thing and she never showed up again, just like him. The two of them, who are only educated, will continue to fall apart without any effort. I guess they'll just keep on going down the path they're on. If you don't give up in life, anything is possible. Jen is a person of hard work. She deserves our respect. Let's glad her children are fully on her side. Hope Jen has a fulfilling life. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.